Hey guys, are you ready for another emotional journey? Let's dive into this touching story about love, compassion, and second chances. It was the kind of winter night that made you want to stay indoors, curled up with a good book and a cup of hot cocoa. But outside, in the heart of the bustling city, amidst the festive lights and holiday cheer, there was a different kind of story unfolding. Snowflakes fell in thick, relentless sheets, swirling like shards of broken glass under the dim glow of the streetlights. The city was alive with holiday lights and laughter, but on the corner of a quiet street sat a young woman, clutching a thin blanket around herself and her baby. Her lips trembled, not only from the cold, but from the sheer desperation of not knowing what tomorrow might bring. She whispered into the child's ear, her voice breaking, "Just hold on, my love. Mommy's here." That's when a small, innocent voice cut through the night. "Daddy, Daddy, look." A little girl with bright eyes pressed her mittened hands against the car window, pointing frantically. That woman and her baby are freezing. The black luxury car slowed to a stop. Inside sat Daniel Hayes, one of the city's most powerful CEOs, known for his steel heart and relentless ambition. His entire empire was built on discipline and detachment. Compassion, people said, was a word not found in his dictionary. But tonight, as he followed his daughter's gaze, something inside him stirred. The sight was haunting. A fragile woman, her clothes damp from snow, her arms wrapped tightly around a baby who couldn't have been more than 6 months old. The baby's tiny cry pierced through the glass, straight into Daniel's chest. He hesitated, his mind telling him to drive on, his daughter's pleading eyes demanding otherwise. "Daddy, we have to help them," she whispered fiercely. And for the first time in years, Daniel did something unimaginable. He opened the door, stepped out into the biting cold, and walked toward the shivering woman. Her eyes widened in fear as he approached. "Please, don't call the police," she begged, clutching her baby tighter. Daniel stopped short. He had expected gratitude, maybe relief. Instead, he saw raw terror in her gaze, like life had taught her that kindness always came with a price. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said gently, his voice softer than even he recognized. "Come with me. You and your baby shouldn't be out here." She shook her head. I can't. I don't even know you." "You don't have to know me," Daniel replied, taking off his thick coat and draping it around her shoulders, despite her protests. "But you need warmth. My daughter's right, she'll freeze to death if you stay." His little girl Emily ran over, tugging at the woman's hand. "Please, my mommy's in heaven. Daddy says we should always protect mommies who are alone." Her words, innocent yet piercing, broke the final wall around the young woman's heart. Her name was Lily, and her story was heartbreaking. She had been working 2 jobs, struggling to keep a roof over her baby's head after her boyfriend abandoned them. Last week, she'd been evicted. Tonight, she had no place to go. She was too proud to beg, too broken to fight anymore. Daniel listened in silence as she spoke inside the warm car, her voice trembling as much as her hands. For once, he wasn't thinking of business deals or profit margins. He was staring at the fragile life in her arms, realizing how merciless the world could be in, how much power he had to change that. That night, Daniel didn't just drop Lily at a shelter. He brought her and her baby into his own home, stunning everyone, including himself. The mansion, once cold and empty except for his daughter's laughter, slowly filled with warmth. Lily tried to leave the next morning, afraid of being a burden, but Daniel stopped her. "You don't owe me anything," he said firmly. "But until you're back on your feet, you're staying here." Days turned into weeks. Lily, though hesitant at first, began helping around the house, cooking meals, and caring for Emily, who adored her. Slowly, Daniel saw something he hadn't in years: of family. He watched as Lily's baby giggled for the first time in his living room, as Emily slept curled up beside Lily during story time, as laughter filled halls once ruled by silence. But not everything was easy. Lily battled shame and fear, constantly worrying Daniel would grow tired of them.
How in the world had taught her not to trust men with promises?
And Daniel himself struggled with vulnerability. He was terrified of opening his heart, afraid of losing again after his wife's death. One evening, Lily tried to leave, leaving only a note of gratitude. But Daniel found her standing in the snow, suitcase in hand, tears streaming down her face. "Why are you running?" he demanded, his voice breaking. "Because this isn't my life," she whispered. "You're a CEO. You belong to a different world. I'm just a nobody." Daniel stepped closer, his eyes fierce. "Don't you ever say that again. You are everything a mother who fights every day for her child, someone who's endured more than most could handle. That doesn't make you a nobody. It makes you stronger than anyone I know." For the first time, Lily believed it. Months later, what began as an unimaginable act of kindness turned into something neither of them expected. Daniel, the untouchable CEO, found himself depending on Lily's quiet strength and love. And Lily, the broken single mom, found safety in a man who had once been a stranger. Emily was the happiest of all. One night she whispered as Daniel tucked her in, "Daddy, do you think Lily could be my mommy now?" Daniel's heart swelled. He looked at Lily, standing in the doorway with the baby in her arms, her eyes glistening. And for once, he didn't hesitate. "Yes, sweetheart," he said softly. "I think she already is." From that day forward, their home was no longer a place of silence and emptiness. It was filled with love, laughter, and the promise of second chances. And all of it began because one little girl refused to look away from a freezing mother and her baby, and because a man who thought he had no heart left did the unimaginable.